Krawczyńskiemu, Ewie, Nelly i wszystkim, którzy tu są. To jest naprawdę zaszczyt, bo jak Państwo przeczytali wszystkie bio w książce, to moja kariera w medycynie jest trochę inna. Ale jestem bardzo dumna z tego, że jestem zaproszona. And I am going to speak in English because Richard is there, and my girls who do speak Polish some asked for a little recording. They wanted to be here. They're coming tomorrow, so I hope that particularly they'll meet some of the, well, all of you, but some of the younger crowd, so you continue to inspire them. So this is really more of a story about somebody who came, that was supported by many, that was inspired by some that came before. And the story doesn't really begin here with this slide, but this is a really important photograph from a few years ago when we came to Chicago when my father, Krzysztof Krawczyński, was honored with this wonderful membership, and it really is extraordinarily meaningful. Let's look at the next one. When he got his award, and of course, you know, Eva is with him, and this was really an incredible night. The incredible thing about this photo is if you look at Eva, she has not changed one bit, you know, so she continues to be my inspiration as a cosmetic dermatologist, that you know, you can be so successful academically and look amazingly. So I love this photo, and this kind of begins a little bit of a story. This is a photograph of 4 generations, and on the photograph is my grandmother, Dr. Maria Tomaszewska-Gürtler, who graduated from Stefan Batory Medical School in Vilnius. And she has a long, incredible personal and medical story that took her, unfortunately, to the lager camps in Siberia. But then when she came back, she reinstated her medical degree and became a wonderful and extraordinarily serving clinical physician, a pulmonologist that worked in Koszalin and a sanatorium, and really was beloved and created an incredible community, both a Christian Catholic community and a cultural community in Koszalin, and a very revered physician for many, many years. So she then inspired my mother, who stands next to her, Dr. Elżbieta Gürtler-Krawczyńska, who was a fantastic and renowned cardiologist with an incredible both academic and clinical career in Poland. And as many women, she was faced with a decision at some point in her life about whether to follow her family, her husband, and then ultimately her daughter, or continue with her academic career. She was so brilliant that ultimately accomplished both, but left her clinical career in Warsaw, Warszawa in Poland, and moved with my father to Atlanta, and started an incredible, completely new chapter in her life, and retired as a professor emeritus in the Department of Nuclear Radiology at Emory University. And so these 2 women really have inspired me, and they've used their medicine, my grandmother to survive and educate, my mother in a way to survive as well and continue with charitable, medically and non-medically related functions. And then there's me, and you'll hear a little bit more about me, and that's my daughter Alexandra. She's the one who is not going to be a physician, so, but the story will continue. So the friendship goes deep, and I had to put this picture there. John, you see yourself there, and Eva, and my parents, and Eva and John were dear friends, as Eva mentioned. They were classmates from the Warsaw Medical School, and this is the beginning of story for me, in a way, because I came to the United States in 1981 as a rebellious post-high school senior. And what did my parents do? They sent me off to New York. I don't know how many parents do that, but it was the beginning of really educational life, and you can't accomplish anything unless you have people that really have your back. And of course, my parents stayed behind, as many of you know. Martial law happened quickly after, and the person that had my back for years was Eva. And this is a photo of my UNC Chapel Hill graduation. That's many months ago. And the next picture will show a next chapter in my life. So from Chapel Hill, I went to Emory Medical School, where Richard and I met, and this is graduation from Emory Medical School. Joanna, Emma's daughter, who's been my lifelong friend, joined us, and there's a next picture. She put on her graduation gown. So we entered another chapter from Emory Medical School. I then trained in dermatology, and I joined a practice of 3 gentlemen. This is a photo of partners and physicians in dermatology consultants. So when I joined the practice, there were probably 15 employees and 3 men. I think that somehow the slide has shrunk, but there are 17 providers, and they're all women. So we're all about support of female physicians, physician assistants and mid-levels. And I didn't cut out all the older partners that have retired, and for the last few years I've been the president of Dermatology Consultants. And our most recent holiday party, we had 150 people, and we operate out of 3 locations, and it's really like a little bit of a machine. We try to make it very personal and get engaged in many different activities. So let's go on. We've put together, just like all the junior crowd has put together, we put together our statement, and in different corners of the practice, there are motivational signs that really try to bring this relatively big group together that talks about what's important when you take care of patients, and as you see, there are a lot of different elements that come to it. It's passion, it's positivity, it's strategy, it's being thorough, and it's being thoughtful, and therefore we do engage in a lot of different things. Seva has mentioned that, as a physician, I throw a lot of different heads up in the air. Of course, I see patients, and typically I'll see anywhere between 40 to 50 patients a day. But then there are a lot of heads flying in. Being a president of a big company, there are a lot of days spent on doing other things. One of the entrepreneurial aspects of the practice is that we've put together a cosmetic line that has put some topical things. This is one of my partners that I even designed the baseball hat. We were very proud of that. So the name of this particular division is BEST, that stands for Body Enhancement Solutions and Technologies, that focuses on non-invasive treatments of face, body, and skin. We do some research. We actually have some clinical trials that go on in the practice that involve some of our products. We work a lot with pharmaceutical companies that bring some of the products to be tested. So this is an example of one of the abstracts that we presented at American Academy of Dermatology. And we get very engaged with the community as well. This is a group of students from Georgia, from Tbilisi, that came and spent some time in our clinic, but we also engage with students from Emory Medical School and also mid-levels like physician assistants and nurses. They come through training and get to spend time in a fairly large clinic. I speak a lot for different companies. This is because I like to talk and I like what I do, but we also do a lot of promotional talking, and this is what's required of some of those more entrepreneurial medical aspects. So I think it's important to know if you can be a great speaker and deliver the message that attracts some of the companies, and they certainly support our efforts. So, and we do get out in the community. We participate a lot with skin cancer screenings. We try to get out to schools and educate. It's very important for me that the practice stays involved throughout the community and really gives back, as we're supported by many, many patients that come see us from the community. We have a very large aesthetic crew that gets awarded many different awards across the industry. I'm very proud of all these young women, and it's really important for me that we've managed to gather such a group of really motivated young women that put together on an everyday basis what's important to them, family and their work. So we talked about entrepreneurship. We do a lot of different things, and as Eva has already mentioned, one of the things that's so important to me is giving back on many different levels. This is doubly important that we're meeting here tonight, and to Richard and Małgosia, thank you so much. I really feel like this is almost a home in Chicago, and it's really doubly meaningful that we're here. And thanks to Eva's ingenuity and support from the Polish community and Małgosia and Richard, in June we opened a wonderful addition to the museum, and I hope everybody got to walk through it. This was a great invitation, and this was one of the giving efforts that we have put together, a fund that we've created that would support the efforts of the Polish community. I'm so proud of my Polish roots, and I hope this really represents, and this is my family, Richard and my daughters who flew in, and it was really such a wonderful gathering in June. We do support University of North Carolina as well. That's my undergraduate alma mater. We have created a Paré Family Fund for Excellence that focuses primarily on support of women, particularly first one to graduate from college, come to college. And that's been very successful. Everybody is in Carolina blue on this photo. And we hope that the family tradition continues. I'm proud to have two daughters. They're very driven and motivated. And particularly on the next slide, Kiki is our hope. She's the one who is applying to medical school. So we hope to have 4 generations of women. And I think it's so important as we kind of continue, and I try to live this day by day. It's a statement that I found by my mother's bedside. It's in English, although, you know, she was more Polish than anyone. And I think that the bottom line is that you really have to promise yourself and recognize who you are, that you work hard, that you recognize the value of what you do, you recognize your roots and give back on many different levels. So thank you so much. I am really honored to be in such an incredible company of the nominees. Thank you to all, and thank you for your attention.
Dziękujemy bardzo. Thank you very much for that inspirational speech, and it is deep in our mind what you said. Teraz bardzo proszę